What's up guys, welcome back to Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version. So not a lot of difference, I'd say. He looks way more like a cat, like even like a black cat. So let's try the landscape page. Pencil eraser, hit pause, go too fast. Going to start with his eyes because his eyes are cool. And it's the easiest place to start, in my opinion. So like center point of my page is about there. I'd say his eyes will be along this halfway point. And we'll just go for it. So we'll curve a line. So we're aiming for these kind of lemon sort of shaped eyes, right? Okay, so curve line on the top. And then we'll bring this down and around, right? Right, curving, and then it goes into like his sort of tear duct area. So this always kind of reminds me of like a lemon sort of shape. And then you could have like a piece of skin or something in there for where the pink part of his eye is. So we just have those big black, now they're square in the cartoon version, but like this one is like more realistic. So they go sort of like oval shape. It's kind of like a long circle, just like that, right? And we'll color them black. And if you want, you can leave a highlight, or you can do white paint for a highlight on top. So like we'll leave a highlight here, right? And I'll just color that black. So lots of sort of details around the eyes, but we'll just get the other eye in. So in terms of like distance over, like how far do you go? So you go like 1.5 eyes is sort of the distance that I've worked out. So if you went like one eye and then like half an eye, say like here, we'll bring you to about there, and then like a little bit more. So just like half of his eye will bring you to his other sort of tear duct area there, see? So like if you went over, boom, and like a little bit. Because his nose is like wider than standard. So we'll go over the top again once we find that point. And we're just copying this shape. And it's about the same height, you know? You could even use a ruler if you wanted to make sure that those were like lined up. Or some people like to use their pen or something, you know, or their pencil. And then we'll bring this down. And we want to make it sort of pointy in there again. Like so. Right, we'll give him his dark oval black eyes. And again, we can leave our highlight just in the corner there and go black. Of course, in around those black eyes, it's just like green. Now, a bit more detail on his eyes in this version. So he's got like an eyelid that kind of joins his nose. So he kind of looks like a panther, right? So this side comes down and like it kind of becomes his snout, right? So it comes all the way down there. And same on the other side. So it nearly like goes all the way down to the bottom of the nose. And then there may be like some skin lines and stuff around there, you know, for his eyelids. And there's way more detail sort of in this version of him than the cartoon version. And like, you know, around the top of his eye. And little sort of edge lines and stuff for his skin. He's got like a bit of a bag underneath his eye here as well. Okay, so his nostrils are pretty big, so they like curve a little bit on top, pretty close to this line of his eye, and then it goes down like that, kind of like a skin flap sort of thing. And then same on the other side, little curve on top, and then it goes in, down there. So his mouth, so his head's real wide, right? So his mouth is like even wider than his eyes. So, I had another picture of him that I was looking at as well. Yeah, so it goes like right, his mouth like goes right up to here. Okay, like in line kind of with his bottom, the bottom of his eye there. Right? And you're kind of, we're kind of going to try and join these points together coming underneath his nose, right? And there's a couple of bends in this. So it goes down around there, right? And then it kind of goes up and down again around his top lip. So he's got like a couple of bumps, you know. So see the way it kind of bends slightly that way? Of course, if that's too difficult, you don't have to do that. And then this is his top of his front lip, right? And you do the same thing over this side. So it curves kind of around sort of half his eye there, following the eye shape. And then it goes up and down a little bit to his top lip. You can see there's these like little dips in towards the face there. You know, there could be like a little edge line to his lip maybe, but not much. His bottom jaw basically follows this shape, right? So it'll go down and it just kind of hangs down like a little bit further, like down to his chin. But you're kind of just following the general shape of his lip. And then it'll go, this will like become his face shape as well, right? Right, and of course, like, you know, little circles and stuff for scales. If you want to do that, you can. Just making them look sort of like a dragon, more skin kind of thing. You know? Okay, so shape of his head. So we'll go around. And this kind of just comes in there. Right, very roundy kind of head, but eventually it'll go like out for those horns, I guess you'd call them. They're not really horns, but kind of things like that he has on top of his head up here. And then there might be like a little bump for his sort of eyebrow, kind of, you know, this kind of just a light little texture for his eyebrow sort of here. And of course he has those spikes up the middle of his head, but I think we'll get these sort of horns, dragon horns that he has. So we'll go around this way first, and how high they go up, maybe like just this high. All right, and then he has those little, they're not spikes, they're like bumps that come off the side. So we'll just bring this down first, right? Kind of like bunny ears, like a bunny rabbit. there's like some skin folds in there. And then he's got like little circles or little bumps that come off here. So we do this over here as well. So we go like that. So in the picture I'm drawing from, these two things are like moving in different directions. So this one's kind of taller looking. And then we'll go down. And then we'll add the little bumps. There. And the rest of his head sort of goes around that way. He's two more inside here, so we'll keep going. Do these ones have the bumps on it as well? No, I think they're just flat, are they? Yeah, okay, these ones I think are just roundy. We'll go like this. And then another one. These don't have to be like equal, completely equal. It looks like there's one bigger than the other. Face shape is there. You got little wrinkles and like scales and stuff on his face. Now, so we've got about 6 or 7 little horns that come up the middle of his head. So like starting right down, say just say an eyebrow level. So we got like one there. And then they're kind of real small at the front, but then they gradually get a bit bigger. So how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's 9 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They get bigger in the middle and then they get smaller again. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and for things like this, if you want to make them look like a little bit three-dimensional, you just add an extra line anywhere on them, really. You could do one down the middle, you could do it on the right-hand side, right? And it just makes them look kind of like pyramids or something, more than, you know, that they don't have any dimensions to them, you know. It helps them sort of look a bit more 3D, especially when you're drawing them and stuff. Little circles around them to show that it's actually like growing out of his skin rather than. Okay, and just some little curvy lines coming around his face like that. So he's got some fins on this side of his face as well, and I think these ones do have bumps. I think. Might be able to see them, but I'm pretty sure there is ones on this, or at least there should be in other views I've seen of him. Small one then here. And then a little one. Couple of bumpy bits. Do 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 do. Little dots and textures and all that kind of stuff on him. Now, so real big wide neck. So it kind of comes down like real wide and then it joins his shoulders on this one. So we're gonna like do shoulders and maybe some of the wings coming out here, right? So his neck kind of goes in this way at first, right? So he's got like these sort of strong neck muscles, and then his shoulder comes out pretty wide, and then down that way for his arm. Right, it all just kind of goes down that way. It's kind of one sort of shape for his body. And again, you can put like textures and like scales and little dots and stuff just to make his skin look a bit bumpy. And then we'll add these wings that are just kind of sitting beside his body. Down that way. And then the other side. Like that. And then there's like that bone. So he's got sort of like a skin folded sort of section there. It's kind of like got wrinkles and stuff on it. And I guess like when it's folded in, it becomes this, you know, it has like these, all these sections of his wing inside here that have sort of skin in it and stuff like that, you know. You know, all the segments of his skin and like some textures and wrinkles and all this kind of stuff on his dragon skin. Boop. Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon 2025. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Bye.